and this is a place that kind of holds some special memories for you, Ruben. I'm Kevin Eckerberry. I'm back here with Coach Carlin Thornton, and once again, I appreciate it. Hello, I'm Kevin Eckerberry, the sports director at BTV. I'd like to welcome you to a new show that we'll be presenting weekly, and this is going to be a lot of fun. We're calling it Kevin's Corner, and we'll be featuring men and women who have made a positive impact in the world of sports in our community. These will be coaches as well as athletes who have excelled in the college and professional ranks, and others who may not have played beyond high school but still made their mark. We'll be looking beyond the statistics, beyond the wins and losses, to really explore the lives of people we'll be talking to find out what drives them, what inspires them, and who has helped them achieve success either on the sideline or on the playing field. When I was thinking about who to feature for our first edition of Kevin's Corner, one name came to mind. Bubba Jeter has been a fixture on the local sports scene for more than 40 years. Bubba grew up attending football games at Callaway Stadium, and he fell in love with the sport that has been such a massive part of his life. Bubba played football at Troop High, and after graduating from the University of Georgia, he returned to Troop and began a coaching career that lasted about 4 decades. Bubba served 2 stints as the Troop head coach, first from 1999 to 2000, and then again from 2006 to 2009. Bubba had winning records in 5 of his 6 seasons as head coach, and he was the defensive coordinator on the 2001 team that reached the state semifinals. Bubba was always there for student athletes at Troop, and seeing the young people he coached go on to have successful and happy lives after high school meant more to him than any of the wins. How much of an impact Bubba made on the school was evident when the decision was made to name the indoor practice facility after him, and what a fitting honor that is. It was a pleasure to meet with Coach Jeter at Troop High, and please enjoy the first edition of Kevin's Corner. Hello, I'm Kevin Eckerberry with BTV Sports, and I have a very special guest today, Coach Bubba Jeter, a longtime coach here at Troop High School, and that's actually where we are today. We're on the practice field at Troop High School, a place you know well.
I do.
I know. You spent a lot of years here. The big difference, of course, is when you were here, this beautiful building to our left, this fantastic indoor practice facility was not here.
Right.
I'm sure you would have liked to have had that on some of those rainy.
That's a beautiful, beautiful facility. And I know Coach Glisson and his staff and the basketball, just fantastic athletic facility, and thankful the school board had the wisdom to do that. It's been great for our kids.
It has been. Of course, we have the same thing over at LaGrange High School, and I know Callaway is getting some facility upgrades right now, and it's just kind of a testament to how this community supports sports.
They love it.
No doubt. But like I said, you went to school here at Troop High School. You coached here at Troop High School for 30
I was 28 as a player and a coach. So started coaching here in 1986 for Steve James.
Oh, yes.
Who won 2 region championships. I was lucky. I was part of both of those 2 championship seasons, and just did about everything you could do in coaching as far as football. 9th grade, varsity assistant, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and got the head coaching job in 99. So.
Right. You actually had 2 stints here as a head coach.
I tell people I'm unique. I was the offensive coordinator here twice, defensive coordinator twice, head coach twice. I was AD one time. That's all I could take of that. But I was very blessed to be able to spend the majority of my career right here at my home, and place is very special to me. And I just consider myself very blessed to be able to spend that much time here.
Right. I know. Hopefully, it won't be too long before Troop gets another region championship.
We're hoping. It's been 87 since we've had some great playoff teams and great playoff runs, but it's been 1987 since they've won a championship, and I know Coach Glisson's got that at one of the objectives at the top of his boards to win another championship here.
No doubt. I know. Speaking of Coach Glisson, I know how thrilled you were when he got that job.
Right.
It's been about 8 years now, which is crazy to think about, but even though you don't coach here any longer, I know you're still the number one fan for Troop High School. You're at every game, and I know talking to Coach Glisson, if he ever needs a word of advice, he's never hesitant to give you a call.
I think the world of Coach Glisson. I'm so proud that he accepted this job. I kind of needled him. I was selling sporting goods when I retired to him at Manchester, and when this job came open, I kind of needled him to about, you need to be at Troop, you need to be at Troop, and it just finally worked out for him, and he's such a special guy. And what I like about him is the love that he has for the kids. It's beyond football, and he's just a special fit here, done a fantastic job, and he's a really good friend of me and my family as well.
Right. It's obviously, those are traits that you have as well. I know how important winning and losing is, but I think talking to coaches, and I know you're no exception, being able to make an impact on the lives of young people, and for you, that has to mean the world, especially when they come back 10 years after high school and they have jobs and families. That's probably exactly about the most satisfying part of being a coach.
That's what it's all about, relationships. And when I interviewed for this job, that was my number one goal, was to build trusting relationships with the players and their parents. And I called a guy this morning, Paul Snellings, who played here in '92 for us. He went on to the University of Georgia, played there. His son is going to be playing tomorrow night against Troop. He plays for Whitewater, and Paul's actually an assistant coach.
Right.
So I had to call him and needle him a little bit this morning. But you're right, Kevin. The relationships, that winning's fun, and we won a lot more than we lost.
Right.
And but it's the relationships that you build with those guys that you coach, and the guys you coach with, they last a lifetime, and they're so special, and that's what I really cherish.
Right.
The older I get, the more I cherish that part of the game.
But I know I wanted to ask you, to me, a high school football stadium is a special place.
Right.
I know when I was a youngster, we lived in a couple places. One of them was Claxton, Georgia.
Right.
And I just remember Friday night at the stadium for a kid is almost like a magical place. It's a special place. And for you, I know Callaway Stadium has to feel like that.
I love that place. I grew up about 2 blocks from that stadium.
Wow. Okay.
And one of my things was, my dad worked for the telephone company, and on every Friday in the fall I would beg him, please, I don't care if it was Troop. I was a LaGrange fan then because I lived in town, but I'd beg him to go to a game, and a lot of them he took me to, but when I didn't go, I could actually let the window up in my bedroom and hear the speakers from the stadium from my house. So I've always had a special place in my heart for that stadium, and it's got so many great memories. And you're right, it's just the renovations they've done. I don't think there's a better, in my opinion, one of the nicest venues, home and visitors, that you'll ever play in. And that's a tribute to the Callaway family and the community for making sure that we had the best facility available. Really special place.
Well, when you were young, were there any kind of moments at the stadium that really kind of stand out for you?
Yeah, one of the, it's funny because I grew up in LaGrange. My grandfather played for LaGrange's first state championship team in 1930.
Okay.
And so I grew up pulling for LaGrange. Troop and LaGrange played in '72, big rival game. Everybody thought, and I was pulling for LaGrange.
Right.
My dad didn't have a dog in the fight. He was pulling for Troop, and Troop ended up beating them 33-13. I still remember the score. And by halftime, I switched over, and my brother was crying. He was pulling for LaGrange, and I was like, I'm a Troop fan now. And my dad always laughed about it. Said, yeah, that game changed you. But I did continue for a little while to pull for LaGrange, and we moved to the county when I was in middle school, and I started at Troop Junior, and then ended up going to the old Troop High on Whitesville Road.
Right. Yeah.
And I've been a Troop tie, from that day since. So, but that stadium's awesome.
Well, I can tell you, I came to LaGrange in 2002, and the first game I ever covered actually was LaGrange and Troop.
Right.
And boy, those were special times.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember back in those days, there was nowhere to sit. There really wasn't anywhere to stand.
No, it was
either.
bad.
They were packed shoulder to shoulder, and in both programs, kind of like right now.
Right. Both
we're in
really
such a great place.
Probably the best atmosphere I've ever seen in that place was '92.
Right.
LaGrange won the national championship, had a unbelievable team in '91, state national title. Right. We hadn't played in 20 years. It was from '72 to '92. They didn't play. So big anticipation, big build-up about that game. They were defending national champions, and we were both really good. And we went in there and beat them 7-0. That is not probably. Me and Coach Bubba, Paul Snellings, I talked to this morning, played at Georgia. he still says that's one of the best atmospheres he's ever played in anywhere. So very special night. We got lucky. We beat them 7-0, and it was a very special memory for me. I still, some of my coaching buddies get mad because I bring it up too much.
Right.
It's still a great memory.
Well, I can still remember the 2003 game too.
Right.
That was LaGrange was in the midst of a
Right.
remarkable
Right.
run.
Right.
And y'all actually beat them in the first game. I think
Right.
that was the first game they lost until 2005.
That's right. That's right.
So it's just those
they
games.
they were AAA. We were Quad A at
Right.
the time. They had I think once when we both went to the Dome, but 3 they were, like you said, they had a
Right.
really loaded team, and we did too. And just that rivalry, just all you got to do is say Troop LaGrange, and so you got to pick sides.
Right.
You know, it's just
Absolutely.
great for the community,
Yeah.
and just great fun. I got a lot of great memories of that rivalry.
Well, the good thing is I don't have to pick sides. I can just go out
It's
and
good.
enjoy.
Good for
the
you.
game.
I want to say this too. BTV, you're so lucky to have this guy. I'm going to give you a quick plug that he's been so special to me and my family. I was telling them before you got here, my dad passed in '09, and Kevin wrote a really special article, and I'm always appreciative for you doing that. You do so much more than just report the facts and the stats. You tell the story, and we're lucky. This community is very lucky to have you here covering high school sports. You meant a lot to me personally, but you meant a lot to this community too.
That means a lot to me. I know. I think it might have been my first day at the newspaper here in LaGrange. I came over here to the field house to talk to you and Coach Walber,
Right.
and y'all just made me feel so at home.
Right.
I thought, this is really going to be
You've done a
nice.
super job, and I hope you do this for a long time to come. It'll be great for this town.
That's the plan.
Good.
But I know obviously you graduated from Troop High School,
Right.
And then I believe you went
went
to
to
West Georgia.
I went to West Georgia for a year, and then I transferred to Georgia and finished there in '86, and came back and I actually worked 1 year at the middle school. It was It was Lee's Crossing and Whitesford Road. They were building the new Long Cane, and we were all in one building. It was a mess. And I coached there for 1 year. The next year I got to come to Troop. Steve James was the head coach, and he hired me, and I came here in '87. Actually, the first year this school opened its doors was the first year that I taught and coached here in '87, and stayed here till 2010. So had a lot of good memories here.
Yeah, no doubt. And you were at University of Georgia, like we mentioned. Right. It's those were good times to be at Georgia.
Oh yeah, that was in the glory days. A lot of fun. Just a lot of championships. Coach Dooley was there. It was just a really good time. And I tell people I might have been the luckiest guy in the world to get in, and I was even luckier to get out. It took me. I should have been there like 4 or 4.5. It took me a while, but I stayed the course, and I'm so happy now. Coach Smart is there now. He was actually roommates with Paul Snelling.
Wow. Okay.
So I've known Coach Smart for a long time, and I've got a really good relationship, special guy to me. So super proud of him finally bringing that championship.
Right.
We've waited a long time, but he's done a fantastic job, and I'm just glad what he's doing, and I think he'll continue that tradition that Georgia's had for a long time.
Right. One of my coaching heroes, Irk Russell, was at Georgia.
He's one of my I've got his picture. I've got a little pool house behind my house, and Irk Russell was I loved him. He's my mentor in coaching, and just a super good role model. We need to get him in the Hall of Fame. If we can get a plug, I think he's needs to be nominated and needs to be in the Hall of Fame for what he did at Georgia and what he did at Georgia Southern.
I agree 100%.
Right.
But anyway, we will be right back with more with Coach Bubba Jeter.
Hello, I am Deborah Mitchell, a registered nurse and a Social Security disability attorney with over 25 years of combined experience in the medical and legal fields. My highly qualified staff and I invite you to come see us for a free Social Security disability evaluation. You can come see us at our Valley office or our new office in Auburn, Alabama off of Bent Creek Road. Give us a call today or visit our website at www.rnlawyer.net and let us help you.
Are you a classic man? Come shop at K&K Classic Clothing, located at 308 West 8th Street, downtown West Point. Suits, shoes, jeans, casual wear, and more. If ever undecided, we can help dress you. Come to K&K Classic Clothing.
I'll be back.
Where every day is a good day to have a great day.
I'm LaShonda Radford, co-owner of Piper's Graphics here in Lynette. We now offer embroidery services as well as our apparel and other clothing needs. We also have a 10-needle embroidery machine that we can stitch anything, just about anything you need. So if you like our embroidery services, come by and see Lady L, who's me. I'm Lady L, and Lady L Embroidery. Thank you.
The Basics, Troup County.
I'm Nicole Kennedy, and I work with the Troup County school system. When our children are reading on grade level in elementary school, it sets them up to be more successful in school and in life. Starting early when they're toddlers is wonderful. Read a little bit every day. When you are reading with your toddler, it's good to ask questions about the book and help them make connections about their real life too. It's also good to make the reading fun.
We're back with Coach Bubba Jeter, and we just happened to be in the Coach Bubba Jeter indoor practice facility here at this magnificent facility, which we talked a little bit before, and what an incredible commitment that taxpayers here made to do this. And a lot of people think it's for football, and it is, but it's for every sport here.
You can come in here any time of the year. There's soccer going on in here in the spring. I've seen baseball kids in here when it's raining coming in. Just beautiful. It's sheltered from the elements, and it's just for this county to have that much vision, to me, it's about kids and giving them the best opportunities and the best facilities that you can possibly do, and just a testament to our community that this happened. And just beautiful, nice.
I know there are a lot of colleges that would probably be envious.
Yeah, a lot of them don't have this. I've been to a lot of schools, and this is as nice as you'll see anywhere in the state of Georgia. It's really, really super nice.
But I remember when they had the dedication ceremony. Right. And I think it was a surprise for you, wasn't it?
It was a surprise. Yeah. My wife kind of schemed me. I didn't know anything. She just told me Nikki Watts had asked me to come for the gym dedication and the other thing, and I had no idea what was going on, and was super surprised and super honored to be thought of in that way. And I think I just love this place. It's very special to me, and growing up here and coaching and playing, and I just got so many good memories. And to do that's other than my children being born and me accepting Christ and getting married, is one of the top 10. It's got to be one of the top 10 things that's ever happened to me in my life.
It was a
very special day for me.
But I know, obviously, was there a point in your life when you kind of decided, you know what, coaching is my calling, and that's what I want to do? Or is it something that kind of happened when you were in college?
Well, I grew up loving sports. I had an older brother that was a really good baseball player at LaGrange, and I tried the baseball thing, and I was okay. And then I got into football and Pee-wee and middle school, and I really just fell in love with football. Right. And when I finished my playing career, I realized, hey, this is over. And I just had such a passion for the game, and originally was going to be a Parks and Rec major.
Okay.
And then I decided later, a couple of years into my college education, I wanted to be around football. And the guy at Georgia that was a big influence was Coach Sam Mervos, who was a strength guy for Georgia, and then taught a lot of classes in the physical education building. But he was had a big influence on me deciding to be a coach, and told me to get another degree other than physical education. So I got a minor in science, and my first job was actually, believe it or not, Kevin, I taught science. So, but it's just been a blessing to be able to do it as long as I did, and I still enjoy being around it.
Yeah, I was joking with somebody the other day. I really miss those old-time coaching shorts. Remember those?
Oh, yeah, the
things?
bike.
Yeah.
Two-button bike. Yeah, those were, I'm glad those finally went out of style.
They didn't leave much to the imagination.
No, they were the Daisy Dukes of men's apparel.
Right. But obviously you started as an assistant coach. What was your first year when you became the head coach here at Troop High School?
Well, I was an assistant here, like I told you, hired in '86, offensive coordinator first, and then became defensive coordinator in '96.
Right.
Did that for 3 years, and then I got the head coaching job in '99. It was my first year here, and we'd coming off it was a big challenge. We'd been 0-10 2 years previous, and hadn't our numbers were down, and it was going to be a big challenge. But I went after my best buddy, my lifetime friend, Tommy Walber, was at Noonan. We had coached a little bit together here, and I was fortunate enough to get him to come down. And we've been a great team. We still talk every week, and great team here, and just had a good run here. And really proud of can still say it was the best 10 years from 2000 to 2010. I'll put pressure. I'll get on Coach G. So you got to beat most wins we had in a decade, and 9 out of 10 years we were in the playoff. Had some really good players, and me and Coach kind of passed it back and forth. You've been the head coach, but we were a team, and whatever his accomplishments were, he gave me credit for it. When I did it, we were just a really good team together. So my mission when I got it in '91, Troop had not been a consistent playoff team or championship team. And that's what we wanted to get established, and we had a great decade. Still proud of that decade, and super proud of what Coach Glisson has done and built on what was done in that day. He's done a super job, too. Well,
you mentioned earlier we were talking about influences you've had coaching-wise. Obviously, your father was an incredible supporter, but it's really your grandfather that kind of helped you.
He did.
Push you into coaching.
My grandfather played at LaGrange in the late 20s and 30s, played on one of their first state championship teams. Still got his football medallion and his old pennants and stuff, but big influence. He passed away when I was 7, but I knew his passion for football, and I just heard his brothers and sisters and family talk about how special football was to him. And I think that just kind of embedded in my heart, and just a good Lord's plan for me to follow that path. And I love coaching football. There's nothing about football I don't like, but being able to, if you got a chance to make a difference, I tell coaches this, if you make a difference in one kid's life, one kid's future, for him to have a better life than his mission accomplished, that's what you get in it, really supposed to get in it to do.
No doubt. I know one of the most special players you coached actually really became a de facto member of your family, and that's J.C. Copeland, who was an incredible player here at Troop High School. He was what did he play? He was a fullback, defensive lineman. And he went on to play at LSU. In fact, I can still remember his signing day. I believe he committed to Tennessee.
Yeah, it was awkward.
And he pulled the switcheroo on signing day. But I know J.C. actually ended up living with y'all, and he's basically become a member of your family.
No doubt. His family was just having some difficulties, and it just worked out for him at the time. I had the space. He was a special player for us, and we had a really good relationship and good bond, and he ended up living with us some in high school back and forth, and went on to college and just really became my girls. I've got 4 daughters, and they fell in love with him, and we're family. He's part of our family. He's in my will. He's just part of our family, and proud of him for. He's one that had an opportunity, could have gone the wrong direction, but chose to take the right path. Has got a degree. He's got a master's degree. He's coaching here at Troop, and has, his vision. He'd love to be the head coach here one day down the road. But super proud of him, and that's one special player. But there's so many more, and I love. I used to not be I didn't get Facebook till I retired, but now I enjoy getting on Facebook, and I can keep up with players and what's going on with their lives, and that's what the memories, the special memories are with those guys and those relationships.
Sure. I know you mentioned your daughters. I know some of your proudest moments have actually been watching them come through here. I don't know if they all played volleyball. It seems that way.
Yeah.
And so to be able to watch them come through high school, graduate, excel in sports, and now, of course, they've all gone on to do great things after high school. That's incredible, isn't it?
Very proud of them. They did. All four of them played volleyball. They're either working on college. 3 of them are out of college, and one of them's a sophomore. But the only bad part about coaching football was volleyball was during football.
Right.
So I didn't get to see a lot of their matches. Now, Macy, my youngest, I was retired when she was playing, so I never missed a way. I mean, I look forward to it, but I hate that I missed a lot of their stuff. But they understood you got to be special to be a football wife, and you got to be special to be a football kid. And my daughters they'd fight you in a heartbeat about Troop or about me. They are very passionate about Troop High School football and about this place. So yeah, it was a blessing to have them in school when I was here, and enjoyed watching them grow up and become the great young ladies that they are today.
So you mentioned your wife, Lori. Obviously, coach's spouse means everything, and she's been a member of the team basically.
Well, I'll say this, bless her heart. She told me I had this illusion that when I retired that we would go to these football games together.
Right. Yeah.
And when I got ready, my first game, I was retired. I was like, "You ready?" And she said, "For what?" She's reading a book, sitting on the sofa. She said,
right.
"I watched you 360 games playing." She said, but she was a fantastic coach's wife, always supportive, and I just thought she'd watch it. She will occasionally. JC will say, "Mama, you don't ever come watch me," and she'll go watch a few games. But she would rather curl up and read a good book on Friday than go to a football game. And she was a fantastic coach's wife. For sure.
My wife can't stand sports, go figure. But anyway, we will be back with Coach Bubba Jeter.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Bray, the CEO of Tiffany Bray Photography. Here at Tiffany Bray Photography, we specialize in beautiful portrait photography. From the moment you walk through the door, you are pampered by our professional makeup artist, where she takes her time and enhances your beauty. We also offer light refreshments to anyone that's accompanying you during your session. Once your makeup is complete, then it's time to style you for your session. We have a style closet here at the studio to go along with the wardrobe that you have brought with you for your session. Now comes the fun part, which is my favorite part. It's the photo session time. And that's my favorite part because it's like watching a caterpillar turn into a butterfly. First 3 shots are just to get you relaxed and comfortable because everybody has anxiety and a little fear in front of the camera. But after that, The next session, you actually see the butterfly. You begin to see the beauty in you that everybody else sees in you. Now it's time for your favorite part, which is coming back to the studio to view your images. I love to see the expression on everyone's face, the excitement, the smile, the joy. We'd like to shoot your session as well, so contact me on our webpage or through email or give us a call. I'd like to capture your special moment as well.
We know that when you have a vehicle, you're able to do the things you need and you love. We believe no one should be without a way of transportation. That's why at Rainey, we will do what it takes to get you in a vehicle. No matter your credit history, we are credit friendly and have flexible payment options. Just show proof of income and a valid driver license, and we will get you approved fast. Because life is too important to let credit challenges hold you back. Let us get you in a car and get back on the road. Come by and see us and let us show you why we are the name you can trust since 1963.
Lafayette Beverage is the largest beverage store in Southwest Georgia. Lafayette Beverage is a premium and luxurious spirit store that has the best customer service. Our 18 square foot store is unmatched with selections of fine wine, craft beer, and more at competitive prices. Visit us at 2068 Hamilton Road, conveniently located next to Exit 14 in LaGrange.
Coach Bubba Jeter, and we're actually in a really cool place right now. This is one of the hallways in the indoor massive facility over here, and this actually the hallway that kind of leads from the practice field to some of the office spaces, and you get to the gym. And this pickup hallway has memorabilia, memories from Troop High School football.
Right.
And this is actually a project that you kind of took on about a year and a half ago or so, and just you can just look around. It really is amazing to see.
Thanks.
It's like a snapshot of true high school football history.
Well,
Just kind of tell me what went into this project.
I had a small accident when I tore some tendons on my hip. I had to have surgery about 2 years ago. Had some downtime, and I've been wanting to do something for Troop High School and for Tanner and Nikki Watts, and throw a plug in for Nikki Watts, the best principal in the state of Georgia. I just
amazing,
love
yes.
her, and she's what this school needs. But I wanted to do something. I had some downtime. These pictures actually came from yearbook pictures I went through. Troop started football in 1956.
Okay.
Which this is actually my father-in-law, who was Troop High School's first captain.
Wow. Okay.
Harold Scott, 1956. And that's Mr. Kenneth Bruce. I know him, went to church, he just passed away. But started taking pictures. I started in the 56 yearbook, went all the way to 2021. Tried to get as many as I could from every yearbook. And didn't know I was worried to death. My wife's got a great camera. But a lot of times when you enlarge things, it gets pixelated. But company down in Columbus does this for us, and I just had my fingers crossed, and I cropped all the pictures and sent them to a graphic artist in Columbus and said, look, you put it together, whatever size you want, whatever. I just want it. I don't want just the 60s. I want it to be, you got some pictures right here from 1960s. You got some from the 90s. You got some from 2000. But I wanted her, and she did a fantastic job. And when I got down there, I kind of didn't want to look, but she pulled it back and showed me the first one. I was like, man, the quality of the pictures, it really turned out really, and she did a fabulous job of just putting it together in a mural form. And like I said, it's kind of like a history lesson. I could go through and tell you about 90% of who's who, but a lot of fun doing it, and I think it turned out nice, and I hope the schools enjoy. I want people to enjoy it and people come out and see it.
Well, the great thing is, too, there's room to grow. If you look on the other end of this hallway, we've got a lot of room. So
That's right.
Keep adding on to it. But, oh gosh, I know this, when you did this, it had to be really cool for you just to kind of relive some of these memories. Because like we've been talking about, you look over the years, so many incredible moments. And when you did this, did some of these moments just kind of become real for you again?
Probably one of the toughest ones was, I don't know if you can see this picture, but I was going through it. You're right. A lot of good memories came out doing it, but if you'll notice, this spot right here was left open. And when we got ready to take this picture, I can still remember that day. It was hot in the summer, and I'm like, squeeze in. You got a spot right here. And Stephen Wright right here told me, said, Coach, we're leaving that open for Desmond Anderson, who was one of our players that had been, died the year before, was killed. And I mean, stuff like that when I was going through, that just brought back so many good memories. There's bad memories, there's good memories, but they're all cherished memories. Sure. So that was a really special one. There's just so many. I mean, I see coaches, Coach James, Steve James, my head coach that I played for, Danny Williams. You got Coach Walburn up top and Coach Holly. A lot of good memories and a lot of bonds with men that I coach with. And then that was a neat part, seeing those coaches when I did it, and the players. That's that's what it's all about. And to see, I could, kind of go through it. Take me a month to tell you each individual story, but I had a lot of great memories and a good time doing this. It was a joy for me to be able to do.
Yeah, you mentioned Desmond Anderson. He was not just an incredible football player.
Right.
I know kind of a picture of him that circulated after that was of him, just a huge smile on his face. And from my recollections of him, that's the kind of person he was. He just lit everybody's lives
very,
up.
Very special young man, and just tragically killed. And tough day, tough week, tough year. And that was a big hurdle. Coach Walburn was the head coach. I was the AD at that time, and we leaned on each other and we leaned on this team, and that was a tough time. And Desmond was so special and so smart. I mean, great SAT, great GPA. Teachers loved him. It was just a tragedy, and still think about him a lot. See his mom. I saw her last year at a game, and we hugged and talked, and but yeah, just so many there's some, there's good memories and bad memories, but they're, like I said, they're all cherished memories. Even some of the bad ones are things that you learn through time to cherish.
Well, moments like that, you hear the cliches that, sports team, a football team's like a family.
Right.
It's a cliche for a reason, because you look at these moments, and these people, yes, you're not related to them by blood.
Right.
Some of them you probably are, but they're still your family. You look at these players, these coaches you work with, you created lifelong bonds and friendships.
Yeah, I see too, just looking at this picture right here. It's Coach Holly that I worked for, he passed away. I was a pallbearer at his funeral a couple of years ago, and Coach Giddens, who was a great coach over at Callaway and LaGrange, and Coach Bobby Floyd passed away several years ago, but just great bonds and memories with them. Coach Floyd's daughter's coaching up at Bowden, his son-in-law, Rich Finley, and just, so many bonds there. And then same thing with, like you say, with the players. And I love to go to troop games and, stand out. I try to get on the sideline so I can see. I can't see good, but I want to get out so I can see. But to hear somebody, coach, and turn around and, see a former player or see one on the sideline. And, I mean, that's priceless. That's like you were saying. I love winning more than anything. But that's a special part is the relationships that you build with your players and coaches that you work with throughout the years.
And then you see generations and generations. You mentioned Claude Giddens. Obviously, his son Zach is the offensive coordinator at Callaway High School.
Right. Zach was at East Coweta for a few years, and I used to see him when I was selling with my little selling job I do part-time. And Zach's going to be a great coach, and he's a legacy. Like I say, he's at Callaway, and I wouldn't be surprised if one day he's going to be a head coach around this area somewhere. Great young football coach. And Claude Giddens was as good a football coach as I ever worked with. Very smart guy, and still got a good friendship with him. And it's fun to see that next generation of players and coaches. And I love to see guys that have played here. That's even more special.
Right.
When you see a guy that played here and they go, hey, coach, I've decided I want to be a coach. And man, that just fills you up, makes you proud. Paul Snelling's, I think I mentioned, is going to be, we're playing Whitewater Thursday. Paul Snelling's son plays there. I talked to him this morning, and Paul's an assistant. He's not a teacher, but he's an assistant coach there for that team. So I kind of ripped him this morning, told him we were going to get him. But it's fun to have those, great to have those relationships.
Yeah, so gosh, you look at these pictures, so many great players. One of my personal favorites was Chris Burnett. You see him down here. He was an offensive lineman here at Troop High School. Went on to
Georgia,
played at the University of Georgia, and he was an All-American player. Just being able to coach people like that just really makes this profession pretty special, doesn't it?
I don't think I'd be going out on a limb here if I said that's the smartest guy that I've ever coached.
Yes.
Brilliant young man, straight A's all the way through high school. Had opportunities as a great football player. Could have played for any school in the SEC, and was kind of weighing back and forth. Had some unbelievable opportunities. Stanford, the Harvard. He could have done anything he wanted. And I talked to him on a regular basis. He's with Chick-fil-A corporate in Atlanta. Got a super job there, and by far one of the great Christian young man. Was a great player, but even better person. And we talk a lot. And very proud of him, and he's got a beautiful little girl that I get to see on Facebook. That's one good thing about Facebook is connecting with these guys and get to see Chris and so many of these guys I get to see either on Facebook or out at games. So Brandon Hart, I saw him at a game. He played at Mississippi State.
He did?
Yep, saw him. Demetrius Good. I think Demetrius is still, he's doing some coaching. So just so many good memories and so many good kids that the good Lord let me, if I had a small part in any part of their success in their life, it was a blessing for me to be able to do that.
Right, and I think down here, as we talked about J.C. Copeland earlier, and there he is, without any hair.
Yeah, this is J.C., and I don't think you really one year we decided to do the coats and the tie, and so we got a good one of him. There's another one I'm sure of him playing at some point on here too, but very special player and still a very, very special part of my family.
A lot of these people, I know this young man here, Mitch Mathis, who played in college.
Military,
and then became an officer in the military.
Right.
So it's, like I said, a lot of these men go on to play football. Right. A lot of them don't. Your wish, you just want to see them succeed.
I just want to, I used to tell them when I was coaching, I want them to, I feel like I'm a success if they turn out to be good people,
right,
good dads, good husbands, all that. I mean, that makes me as proud as anything they could do, athletically, to see them turn into good people. And the beauty of this game, one of the best parts about this game is you're going to get knocked down, you're going to get you're going to lose some games, you're going to win, but it teaches you to keep going and to persevere no matter how tough things get. You got to pick yourself up and keep going. And that's one of the best parts, I think, of coaching this game is the resiliency that you can teach young men, because life's tough.
It is.
And it does make me proud when I see guys that have gone on to, I get a text, hey, I had a little boy, or hey, coach, I had a little girl, or hey, that's special to me, very special.
I can tell you there are hundreds of young men who are better people for playing for you, Coach Jeter.
I appreciate that. It was a blessing. I tell people a lot of times when you're coaching, you're so into the moment that you don't take in all the special times and things that happen. But now I can kind of look back at I've got time to look back in the rear view and realize how much fun I had, right, and what a blessing, and to be allowed, the good Lord allowed me to do this as long as I did, and allowed me to do it at my home school. And a lot of guys don't get to do that. And so very, very, there's that picture you're talking about of Desmond. Yes. You need to get that. That sums him up, yes, right there. That's a great picture of Desmond. That's the one I think you were talking about earlier.
It is.
Of him. So being able to have those bonds is truly, truly special.
Coach Bubba Jeter, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Oh man, I enjoyed it.
Being my first guest on this show, we're going to
that makes me feel special. And I'll go back to what I said about you. BTV is very lucky to have this guy on board, and you need whatever you got to do to keep him, because he loves this community and these kids, and he does a great job telling the story behind the story. That's what people want to hear.
Thank you, Coach Jeter.
Thank you, Kevin.